Hi everybody, it's Precious Pioneer and welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel where we talk about food and lifestyle. And welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. I have new videos every single week. But today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about building a personal brand and what that all means. Because honestly, I truly believe that you are your own personal brand, and that may sound counterintuitive, but when you think of other personal brands, I think of like Beyonce and Michael Jordan, and they are leaders and icons in the music industry and in sneakers and footwear. And so as we see the rise in social media influencers and everyone wanting to become a personal brand, I think there is a common misconception of documenting yourself online to be perceived a certain way. But your personal brand is something that follows you no matter where you go. So that's how you treat others in work or on your commute or in your day-to-day interactions. It may sound really simple, but your brand is in your actions and how you treat others. It could fall into the category of what you wear, buy, and what you stand for, but basically it's just a personal brand is documenting all of that into one nice package. It could be really amazing because it's a brand that you represent and that you embrace, and it kind of represents all of your core values and beliefs and everything that you believe in onto one very clean platform. If you're a little lost, let me break that down for you. The first step of developing your personal brand or being able to identify it even though it is you at its root is to figure out who you are. And that goes into what are your strong points, what sort of things motivate you and inspire you, what kind of roles can you take on and it doesn't drain you, what kind of things don't you like, what kind of things do you really put off the side because it really doesn't suit you or you don't necessarily agree with those things. So being able to identify clearly what you are for and what you're not, what you kind of don't really care for can really help establish who you are and feed into your overall personal brand. The second thing is, what do you want to be known for? You can't really think about short term and who you are today. You have to think about who you aspire to be tomorrow. What are your goals, your dreams, the accomplishments that you hope to achieve? And all of that can be part of your mission statement and help feed into the brand. So when you think of any other generic brands or companies, they usually have a mission statement or some sort of value statement of what they hope to achieve, whether that's the best customer service or to have a certain award or accomplishment within a certain timestamp. When you think of restaurants, oftentimes they shoot for Michelin stars or some sort of recognition and achievement. And so for you personally, what are those sort of things that you want to embrace and hold on to? And what do you want to be known for? What your legacy would you try to strive for to represent you and is a part of you? Number 3 is to define your audience. And I think the biggest struggle is that some people try to target everybody, and everybody isn't for you, and that's perfectly okay. You want to pick a demographic that is definitely suited for you. So for YouTube, you may be an aspiring mother, and so your YouTube content is only for other mothers or learning mothers and things like that. So what kind of things would you hope to share with your audience, and who would that be? What would be their demographic, their age, their gender? It could be people in a specific work environment or niche. If you need extra help with marketing tactics or how to find your audience, I have an old video, and I'll leave it somewhere up here for you to click on as a resource. But you want to be able to develop your content and your actions. It's something that easily represents you, but also represents somebody else who may be in your shoes. So for me, it's people in their 20s who are entrepreneurs, business people, who are in the culinary industry, who are in the food industry, who are advocates for minorities and other groups who are suppressed in the food industry. It's farmers, it's green initiative people. Like my content's pretty broad, but generally I just like to inspire people who are kind of in a similar position that I am in. And so that's me personally. So finding your audience is really, really important for developing your own personal brand. And number 4 would be to research your industry and follow experts. I think this is one of the biggest things. Like, you don't necessarily need a mentor. People either love mentors or they don't. But I think there's so much truth in trying to think about where you want to be and who you want to become, and just closing your eyes and thinking about who's already done that. So for me, if I wanted to be a singer or someone like that. The first person that comes to mind is like Beyonce, Ariana Grande, maybe Bruno Mars. And if I follow what they did to get to where they are now and look at their legacy and look at how they got to where they got to, I think that success always leaves clues. And so I would recommend mirroring them, learn from their mistakes, see what they did to get where they got to, and kind of follow their path and go through their struggles and adversities or whatever they faced, to get where they got to. I think it's so important to learn from experts in your industry, in your field, and to fail fast, because we are newbies. And when you're first starting off your personal brand, you think of like all these different things, but it's just best to just try one thing after the other. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's just learning from that and growing from that. I would just give yourself the time and the space to utilize all the opportunities that are offered to you and to take advantage of that, because learning is probably the biggest asset in your arsenal when developing a brand. Number 5 is to interview guests for more insight. This one may sound a little bit nerve-wracking and it might make you nervous or a little bit afraid, but exposing yourself and putting yourself out there, communicating and networking is one of the best resources and tools that you could ever hope to gain, because other people have stepped in the places that you're trying to go. And so just asking them how they got there, they may be able to give you advice or tips to help move you along faster or to set you on the right path to go where you need to go. And so having a friend or someone in your back pocket that you can call or just ask them about their own experience could really help you. Just talk to people who you're interested in learning from. And the last but not least is number 6. Know that your personal brand is something that you live in and it's a part of your everyday life. It's just not some online persona that lives online. It's in all elements of your life, whether you're going to Target or you're going traveling abroad. People begin to recognize you because you are your brand. You're the face of the company. And so when they see you doing other things that are outside of that, it's going to question your integrity and the integrity of the brand. So you want to make sure that you represent yourself as well as you can. The first example that comes to mind is with Ellen. There was a huge controversy that happened to her over the past couple of months because she puts on this online persona on her TV shows of being super joyous and happy and kind and friendly and all these different things. But there was like an expose of like a lot of people coming out saying that they did not have a really good personal interaction with her, and that tarnished her personal brand. When you think of Ellen, you think of her talk show, you think of her as a comedian and all of the different things that she does. But if you find out a little nugget of information that she isn't as kind as people say, then even though, she hasn't really spoken out much about it, but even if that were to be true, or if it's not true, just having that seed planted in your mind tarnishes that brand because other people have experienced different things. And so you want to keep that in mind, so if you market yourself as one way and you live a life of another, you just want to make sure that your personal brand is aligned with your core values and beliefs, even if it is on the other side, and to represent that well. And one final note, don't be afraid to evolve and change and grow as a personal brand. That's part of the journey. It's part of life. Like when I'm in my 20s and I'm creating my own brand, but like when I'm in my 40s, it's probably going to change, so don't be afraid of like change and evolving. If you have one core belief and then you kind of switch around with new information or whatever it may be, don't be afraid to change and grow with your brand as well. And I think that's really important. I wish you all the best of luck. I hope this video helped you and inspired you. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps support the video and me, but I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.